oh, I can do it better. I can do it this way, or I'll be faster. But was it for you to do? And a lot of times we assert ourselves in other people's business, and we don't even supposed that wasn't for us to be. So I was like, okay, let me just ease on back. Let stuff go. What is it? And it was this, you know, and God dealt with me. God dealt with me. So sometimes I say, even though we're supposed to do stuff, we put stuff on ourselves. We
Mm,
do.
mm,
We
mm,
put this
mm.
extra load on ourselves. That
Yes.
wasn't your bag to carry. That was not your bag. Put it down. And that's
Wow.
what I had to tell myself. No matter how much you love them, no
Yeah.
matter how much you think you know them, it's not your bag. Put it down. I don't want to be the bad lady. I just want to do my assignment.
Yes, he's coming. He's coming to the home of James Brown. Yes, he is. David Chan's, also known as the King of Podcasting, is coming to the AUG, and you want to be there. Not only is he coming, he is bringing Donnie Wiggins with him. Check out Social Proof Podcast. Oh, you've seen them. Yes, you have. And they're going to be right here in Augusta, Georgia. When? Thursday, April 23rd. 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. It's a free event. You need to go ahead and scan this QR code. Get your seat registered right now. Limited VIP tickets are available, and limited vendor and sponsorships are available as well. Oh my goodness. We're so excited. We are so excited about having David Shands here in Augusta, Georgia, the home of James Brown. So you want to be there? It's a free event. We'll see you there. Hello, 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 and welcome to oh my goodness, episode 57 of Reset to Reinvent Podcast. I am your host, Helen Blocker-Adams. So glad that you have joined us here today, and want to remind you this is the month of April. April is also designated as Second Chance Month. And, I've got guests that I promised you last week that have experienced more than one, probably second chance, because when we think of second chance, it's not necessarily someone who's been incarcerated and gotten in trouble with the law. It's someone who needed a second chance in life, whether it's gone through a loss of wealth, a loss of something that we're going to be talking about with my guest in a moment, or a loss of a family member, or a loss of a marriage, or loss of a job. And a lot of times you got to reset and reinvent and have that second chance. So we have, and I'm not even going to delay it, because we have got a guest here that I'm really, really excited about having her on with us, because she and I haven't talked, in quite a long time. And if it wasn't for a week or two ago, we hadn't seen each other in person in years. Okay. And, but there's the power of Facebook that keeps us all connected. And so let me introduce to you Angela Dumas Reed, the author, brand new author of a wonderful book called Finding Me. Welcome to Reset to Reinvent, Angela.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
I am so excited about having you with us here today, Angela. And let me just now, I've written 4 books, so I know what it's like to have, I don't care if it's your first book or your 15th book. There's something special about being an author. So let me just throw it out there. What is it like to be a brand new author?
It's exciting, yet um I'm still in awe. I don't think I've quite um I don't think I've quite I guess I don't know, it hadn't quite hit me yet, but I know, and even with the different feedback that I've been getting, I'm like, oh my gosh, like I've written a book. I'm actually helping people, and it's just amazing, really. It's truly awesome. Yeah.
So the title of the book is called Finding Me. First of all, why did you decide to write the book in the first place?
To help others, to and not just help others, but to finally share my story. For so long, I was silent for years, for years. And so, and not just having a voice now, but also, you know what, let me put this on paper because, I could talk to people here and there, but this can go, not just locally, but state and then globally. So it need to be put out there. So that was the reason for the book unknowingly now because writing a book wasn't in my plans. I can't say that's been on my my board to say, oh yeah, like I want to write a book. No, never was.
I've always known you as a cosmetologist. You got a wonderful beauty salon here in Augusta, Georgia. And so that's my only knowledge of what you do, as an occupation.
So yes, I've been coming up as a master cosmetologist of 26 years this year, doing the 26 years. And so about almost 10 years ago, I started getting involved with hair loss and scalp issues. And so I started doing some studying with that and then, just through the years, just here and there. But back in 2021, I actually started with at the American Academy of Hair and Scalp Disease. That's like an 18-month course. And I did that for a year and I stopped going. And it was a season where I just had to be present. I felt I needed to be present for my grands. And so I couldn't focus on my grands and focus on schooling because it's in depth, it's fast paced, it's in depth. And I felt like I wasn't giving it my all. I'm giving them 100%. So let me step away from this. And so I actually picked it back up in 2023. And I completed that course 2020 November 2024. So I became a certified functioning trichologist. So helping not just women but men and children deal with some, hair loss and scalp disorder. Where I became my own client. I had to be yes. I started experiencing hair loss, and it was kind of like, wait a minute, like, really, what's going on? And I know, like, okay, stress. I know, okay, girl, you need to be eating better and stuff like that. But it was a little more in depth than that.
So you're telling me that stress and diet can impact and cause hair loss and scalp problems? Really?
Uh-huh. Yes, lack of sleep, your sleep pattern, are you moving your body? It's so many factors that take a, play a part in that. It's not people just saying, "Oh, I'm not doing anything to my hair." Well, you're not dealing with a mechanical hair loss, but internally you're dealing with something. And so I don't want to jump ahead if this because it'll be going into a health scare. So I don't want to jump if that's not. I want to
You
follow you.
go right
Okay.
ahead. Yes.
So the end of 20 uh so sort of like the middle of 2024, I started having like shortness of breath. I'm walking to like I can be at the salon behind my chair. I'm gonna go to the restroom like a couple steps. I'm like out of breath, like my heart was beating. Um Abnormal. And I was like, oh my goodness. So with taking this course, I kind of knew like Angela, like sit down, reassess things, right? And so when I sat down, I was like, I'm about to become a client. So I did. I sat myself down, I pulled out my consultation, and I said, you have to answer these questions. Just like I would tell a client come in.
Wow.
Being transparent will help you. I only can go off what you tell me. And so even though I'm Angela, the trichologist. I'm also Angela, the client. So, okay, girl, you got to be real with self. And so I did that consultation, roughly about 90 minutes. And I had to, like, you know what, you have to deal with some inner stuff that you have been suppressing for years. You stayed silent, you held this, you're the only one that know this stuff. You have to now release these things that's holding you, bound, just holding you down. And so I started, it was a battle. And even my instructor at the time, she said, it's something else in you that you're not releasing. This was in February of 2025, the beginning of February. And so I actually stopped doing a course with her. I was like, I just need, there's no more chasing titles, because that's what I was doing as well. One, okay, this, I can, long as I'm staying busy, I don't really have to focus completely on me.
So
And
would
so,
you, I don't mean to cut you off, but we're going to come back to that. But would you say that that's a coping mechanism that a lot of women use to, the busier we are, either the issue, we're thinking maybe the issue is going to go away or we don't have to think about it. So would you agree that that's a coping mechanism, Angela?
oh, yes, most certainly. It is a compliment, because if you're so busy helping others and doing for others, you don't have time to think about your own problem.
Right.
So you know what? Let me do this and by the time you so overworked, I'm just gonna close my eyes, a little shut eye, and you really not dealing with nothing for self. And
Mm.
that's where I had gotten. And I told myself, I love you. I'm looking at myself in the mirror and I'm telling myself, I love you. You have to do this for you. You only can give out what's in you. And so if you're no longer, that's it. And so I say, you know what? I'm going to be selfish. I'm going to be selfish with Angela, for Angela. And February, the end of February, I started doing that work. And when I tell you, it wasn't I had already did counseling previous. Um, so now it was just a walk with me and God. I already knew what I needed to do because I had held on for so long. Like when I say hadn't told nobody, nobody. And so from February up until, and I say it was a battle. It was a spiritual like battle. Like one time, I was like, is this like like I'm moving like this? Like what in the world? So when I
Almost like something physically in your body escaping,
yes,
escaping out of your pores, out of your hair, and to the point where you're cleansing yourself.
uh-huh. That's exactly what it was. Is that so from the end of February, I got released in May. So all but I'm showing up. I'm showing up at work. I'm showing up still with my family. But nobody knew what this battle that I was handling. But this battle was between me and God. Like he didn't leave me. Like he guided me. But yes, and I gave him. I'm like, I'm ready. I no longer want to go this route because I started seeing, just with different people coming in and even when in class and you hear different things like people that undealt with issues.
Ah, and it
un-
was almost like, ooh, that's me. That's me.
Mhm,
See that in
mhm.
her.
And
See that
you
in
can
her.
see yourself, yes, you see
Ah,
yourself in different, like, you know what? And then also, I said, for me to be 100% effective with others, I have to be 100% with myself.
gee.
I'm so good helping others if I'm still blocking out stuff myself. Like, no, you still got to do a work in you as well. And so, yeah, and so even with May, when I tell you it was such a May, I felt so like I was like, oh my goodness.
Now, were you journaling during this period between February, March, April, and May, did you journal and write down any of this? Because what you're part of what you're talking about is actually in your book, right?
No script, not none. I did not. I did not. And I was sitting in July, I was sitting at my island, had just finished eating dinner, and I heard the Lord say, "It's time." I already knew what he was talking about. So I had done marinated this. I had done held on to this journey for myself. Like, so nobody, just with self. And so now it's time for you to share. And so I'm like, okay, July. And I was like, mm. And I said, I have a birthday, my 49th birthday, October 8th. I said, I'm going to do it then. And I did it. I looked at the date. It was a Thursday. I said, oh, I'll do it that Saturday. So I did it on October 4th. Yeah. Or the 8th was that Wednesday. But I did it October 4th, that Saturday.
Okay.
I did it. So and even I'm trying to like, oh, I got to have this. I got to have that. And the Lord told me, you don't worry about the aesthetics. You worry about the mess. I said, okay.
Mm.
So it ain't over the top, none of that. You just get this message out. And so now it's like, okay, family, friends, clients. Oh my goodness. I found a spot for like and I invited 110 people. 98 showed up. And still that day headed to this. I'm sitting at like in between coming up to this, I would sit at the desk with a pen and a paper, thinking I'm about to put something down. Still nothing. The
Yeah.
day of, and I get up in front of them, I say, I have nothing. Like this is not script. I said even when I tried to sit down and write, I just couldn't move. It was nothing. So it all just came. And when I tell you no hesitation, no, just nothing, it just flowed. And like my family, they didn't know. My like clients, I have been doing a number of years. They know. And sometimes it's the you can appear so strong that they think, oh, she's so strong, she don't need, and not knowing, you know, the load you carry. The
Yes. Yes.
Mhm. and and it's like if you don't even find that recognition, like, you know what, I need help myself, then you will actually lose yourself. And I truly believe, had I not took my that health scare seriously, because I was sometimes scared to go to sleep at night. I was not gonna lay flat. I would sit up in the bed or sit up in a chair propped up because I felt like my heart ain't beating right. And if I go to sleep, I ain't gonna wake up. And I wanna be not only do I want to be here for my kids, because I have a son and daughter. I still call them my kids. My son's 25, my daughter's 30. And not only that, I want to be here for my grandkids. So I need to be present. Let me do this. And so I shared and finding me. And then I tell people, even when it comes with hair, even though it's my symptom was present, right? With the abnormal heartbeat, the little pressure over my right eye, stuff like that. Even though those symptoms was present, I had to journal back. And that's how we do in trichology. You journal back. Even though this hair, you see, pattern of hair loss.
You're looking for the source. Is that what's when you say journal back? You've got to.
Uh-huh. You got
It's
to get to
to
the
come
root
from
issue.
somewhere. There's an
Uh-huh.
issue.
To the root
Let's
issue.
let's let's. Okay, okay. Wow. So you journaled back. So with you having taken this course, and even though you had to stop for a while so that you could pull back, but having taken this course, so would you say the course was very instrumental in helping hit some triggers to make you realize, okay, this is not only why my hair is coming out, but Angela, girlfriend, you got some issues that you haven't dealt with, girlfriend, and
Oh,
it's time
yes.
for you to just put it out there.
And that's how it was. Yes.
And that's what you
Yes.
did when you had that meeting with all the people that came. Now, okay, so I do want to talk a little bit about that.
Okay.
What I don't want to do is talk too much because I do want people to buy your book. First of all, what is the name of your book? Let's just say this right now. We'll say it again at the end of the episode. But what is the name of your book, and where can people buy it, Angela?
The name of my book is called Finding Me. Okay. A journal through trauma, forgiveness, and self discovery. And so I have the book on hand at Salon 419 in Augusta, Georgia,
Show,
2368 Barton Camper Road.
can Angela show us the book?
Oh,
Yeah, let us see. Let us see.
this is
Okay.
the
So I
book,
interrupted you while you were doing your spill. The name of it is Finding Me.
Finding
And who's
Me.
that cute little girl on the cover?
And that is me.
That is you. Oh my
That is
goodness.
me. It's also available on Amazon, or you can go to www.angelatheauthor.com and order it through that site as well. So,
Okay,
yeah.
but if they catch you for our viewers and listeners here in the Augusta CSRA, they can catch up with you. And where can they find you on social media?
So my name, Angela Dumas Reed, for now. And also I will be having a book launch on April 18th from 3 to 5 at the Augusta Municipal Building.
Okay. All right. Very good. And we'll share that information a little bit later too. Okay. So the name of your book is Finding Me, and it's a book about restoration and the parallel when you think about restoration, you restored your hair. So tell us a little bit about that and how, your hair is gorgeous. I love the short look and the color and all. And frankly, every time I see you always look like you are, just a perfect specimen. And of course you are, but just like anybody else, we got our little stuff, we got our little stuff.
Yeah.
But but so how did your hair get restored, and how long did it take?
Okay, so I actually shaved all my hair off in February.
Wow.
February of 2024. I shaved it all off. Um,
Reason why was
the reason why, because I had like patches, I would say, and it just seemed, this thin, this thin. It was just, I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna cut it all off and start over again. And also then too, I knew what I was going to do. Like now I know, better. And not just with some internal issues, but also some things I was doing mechanical, like with the bleaching and stuff. Like I know, like, girl, you shouldn't be doing that. I'm a blonde. No, you're not a blonde. Some black come in. You want like, oh, let me get rid of this. And so I shouldn't have been doing that. So I stopped that. Um, and so I started. I just like as if I became the client, and so I created a protocol for myself and I abided by that protocol. And it wasn't just with the nutrition, but I started getting my rest. I started and not just with the rest, but I started letting things go that no longer serve me. I
Mhm.
stopped and one of the biggest thing I stopped doing was I stopped assigning myself to other people assignments. That's what they supposed to do.
You need to break that down, honey. That was deep right there. You stopped assigning yourself to other people's assignments. Okay, masterclass, let's go.
Okay, so you know what you're supposed to do, right? And then some people you be like, oh no, I can do that for you. Oh yeah, and then it's like for so long you just doing this and doing that, and then you're like, oh, it's so chaotic, I'm tired, I'm this, and it's like, wait a minute, but why are you putting all this on yourself? What is it that you're supposed to be doing? So not only am I doing what I'm supposed to be doing, my God-given assignment, but I'm picking up stuff, even like I would say some stuff, even with my grandkids. Even though I'm this awesome grandmother, don't get me wrong, it was some things I was overly doing. Like that wasn't for you to do. You just be little grandma, be gammy, as to speak of what they call me. And so I had to learn that step back, because sometimes I can do it better. I can do it this way, or I'll be faster. But was it for you to do? And a lot of times we assert ourselves in other people's business, and we don't even supposed that wasn't for us to be. So I was like, okay, let me just ease on back. Let me let stuff go. What is it? And it was this, and God dealt with me. God dealt with me. So sometimes I say, even though we're supposed to do stuff, we put stuff on ourselves. We
Mm,
do. We
mm,
put
mm,
this
mm.
extra load on ourselves. That wasn't
Yes.
your bag to carry. That was not your bag. Put it down. And that's
Now,
what I had to tell myself. No matter how much you love them, no matter
yeah.
how much you think you know them, it's not your bag. Put it down. I don't want to be the bad lady. I just want to do my assignment.
So, with that said, I know you got some backlash. I know you got some pushback from people. They're like, wait a minute, you did it before. You did it for me.
Right?
Brother, sister, cousin, daughter. So, okay. So, how did you
Yeah.
deal
And
with
then
it?
also when you have those things where they say, like you say, you used to do it, or you used to come, and some things you just can't even show up for. You just have to be like, you know what? No. So whatever season you're in, you just have to know, am I supposed to be in this place? Am I supposed to be doing this? And that's what now I ask myself. It don't matter whether so and so gonna be there. They ain't got nothing to do with me. I'm telling you, it's now. It's like being selfish. And I say it, I'm just being selfish because I know, because at one point it's like I had to be seen. I had to be seen. I gotta be doing this. I gotta be present. I just have to. Let me do this. And sometimes it's like I have people say, can't you just come somewhere and sit down? Why you always got to be involved? Can't you just come somewhere? Like one time, I never forget, I'm invited to a 40th birthday dinner. I'm going in and I'm like, oh, they set up not right. Because they got the cake first. So they telling people they getting ready to eat. I'm like, they can't eat yet. We got to fix this setup. They ain't got nothing to do with me. If I got that part and them people had it set up like that, I should have left it like that. But just always just having to do. And I had to learn it is okay to show up and do absolutely nothing but be the guest. And
Wow.
that's it.
And so that was a major mindset shift for you that transformed your life, hasn't it?
Oh yes. Oh yes, most definitely. Most definitely. And I'm also okay now to the point where my no is just that. It is a no, and I don't get an explanation behind it because I don't explain my yeses. So why should I have to explain my no? And so many times we'll say no because no, there's no because, just no, and that's the final answer, and be okay with it.
And it doesn't make you the bad person. Now, two times you have used the word selfish. So I'm going to suggest that I don't believe it's being selfish. It's at a point where you have found you and realize that you, and just like me and others, we can't be everything for everybody. And at some point, we've got to be able to say, you know what, because if we keep running ourselves down, trying to be everything for everybody, then we're not going to be here. We're shortening our own lifespan
Right.
ourselves. And then at the end of the day, when we're gone, a life for them is going to continue on. Self-care and mental wellness, health and fitness, just like the expo that we participated in a few weeks ago, that's a big deal. I mean, that's on everybody's mind. And so I think by saying selfish is it's like we really shouldn't be doing, and I know that's not what you mean, but I think when we use the word selfish, it's almost like, well, like there's a but in there. Okay, when we say we're being selfish, as opposed to I'm doing this for me, and just like your no's are no's, Your yeses are yeses, and it is what it is. We're not being selfish. We're taking care of ourselves so that we can be able to take care of others. And that's okay.
It is okay.
Yeah, that is
The way to
okay.
look at it.
Man, I am okay. So your hair is growing back, and okay, now let me ask you this. Now, when you mentioned that you cut all your hair off, I mean, you just went cold turkey, just like someone smoking and they just stopped smoking. Now, when you're talking with a client, Angela, and you're sharing that part of the story, are they looking at you like, do I have to cut all my hair?
No, because I tell them everybody's journey is different. And so it depends, you know. But no, I hadn't had anyone to be like, you need to just shave it all off. So no.
Oh, okay. All right, because I think that would freak me out. Now I can tell you now.
Right. No.
Yeah. Now you may or may not know. Several years ago, where really it was April of 2021. April. Wow. As a matter of fact, oh wow, it was 5 years ago. Yesterday, the 8th of April was the 8th of April 5 years ago that I had my diagnosis with breast cancer. I just thought about that because today, the ninth, the day that we're recording this on the ninth. So, but I remember several friends of mine saying that, that had also experienced it, that they had just, and I read where a lot of women just, knowing that their hair was going to come out, they just
Hmm.
shaved off their hair. I chose not to do that. I said, you know what? If it's going to fall out, which it did, and it's going to do it naturally, and then my hair
Right.
is going to grow back naturally. I felt really weird about shaving it off. So that's why when you said shaving off your hair, and I'm like, okay, what are the clients are going to think? Are they thinking the same thing's going to happen to them? Oh my goodness. So finding me on that day that you had 98 of 100 people that you had invited, and that's a really good turnout. And I would imagine, Angela, I mean, let's just say I got an invite, and I don't know how the invite was worded, but I'm sure there was a whole lot of people curious about what is she putting together here, because it wasn't your birthday, right?
So yeah, it was. I told it was a birthday dinner, and so it
Oh,
was.
okay, my bad.
It was unveiling the mask, it was an intimate affair unveiling the mask. And so
Oh,
that's how it was. So I had people think, well, do I supposed to wear a mask? And I said, no, it's not um it's Angela's unveiling the mask. That's what it is. So it's not a
mhm,
masquerade. You don't have to wear a mask.
mhm.
And so yeah, they didn't know, but I told them it was something that I needed to do. So yeah, and I made sure I had tissue and they look bad because I didn't know how it would be. And I remember like once I started sharing, and I had a group of cousins to my right. I actually could feel the heat. Like they were so heated of some of the stuff I was sharing. Like I could feel the anger, right? Coming from especially my male cousins that's more like brothers. And I was like, "Oh," and I have, even my oldest sister, and I'm just like, "Oh my," like, "Hold on. Oh, wait a minute. There's nobody to go fight. None of this. We're not doing that." Like
Right.
really. So when I say like my support group has really just been so, so, so strong. And it was very, I tell people I feel exposed, yet I'm covered.
Yes.
Because and so I'm having to go, and like I told them, I'm going back 39 years.
Yeah. Wow.
I'm finally seeing something that happened the start of 39 years ago. And so stuff in between. And so, yeah, and it's like, oh, she what? Her? No. And and even explain because some stuff I didn't know myself, like why me?
Yeah.
And so I won't go into full details, but I will say in this book, I talk about unforgiveness. I talk about attempted suicide. I also talk about sexual violation. So those are like some of the key things that I hit on that I had to find. Like in my family, they didn't know. It's like my mom, my sisters, like, and I was like, held it, you done held this in for so. I'm like, yeah.
And we hear and see movies on Lifetime, and we hear about those type of things all the time, and somehow you've coped, but in the meantime, over the years, it holding all of that in and other things that you share in your book, Finding Me, it came to a head. Literally your head, where
Hmm.
you started, where, because with someone else it may be drinking, alcoholism, eating, gaining a lot of weight, and that being there. And in your case, it was on the inside, almost like bubbling, like a volcano bubbling on the inside, and you realize, but it certainly's got to be God that not only allowed that to happen, not the bad stuff. I'm talking about what happened, but I know that helped trigger with your hair. But I'm thinking about when you decided to take the course dealing with scalp and skin and hair loss. But because were you having that experience of the hair
No,
loss
no,
before? See, that
no. So the reason why I got so into wanting to know, so um younger, when I was younger, seeing my grandmother, dealing with hair loss. And
okay.
not just my grandmother, I started seeing like a pattern within my own immediate family, right? And
Mm.
then you start seeing stuff showing up. You behind the chair, and your client showing up, and it's like, wait a minute. And then so much stuff. People like, oh, I'm treating the hair. But exactly what are you treating?
Right.
What are you treating? And for me, I'm one of the ones, if this is my fit, this is my passion. I'm passionate about healthy hair. And it's like I still need to know more because it's some stuff showing up. I don't know. So let me, and I also told my grandmother, I was like, even though she passed in 1999, I said, grandmother, I'm gonna find out. I'm gonna find out because I knew it wasn't the products. And I remember even telling her by then, once I got old, I know, with my late teens, I was like, Grandma, it's this product out. It promises gonna grow your hair. And it was organic root stimulator. And I remember my grandmother giving me the money. I go and get her this whole set, and she putting this oil on her. She pretty much used that bottle oil the same day because she'll put a little bit, rub it in, wait a little bit, and go back. I'm just like, oh my God, they don't told the tale because ain't nothing happened over those months, nothing. And so I knew it was more. And so, and that's why I say, even when people, you just can't get your license and that's it. You have to go to continuing education classes. You have to just show up differently. And that's something I always did. I tell people I'm a forever student because things are ever changing. So I need to be in the know.
Mhm.
And so just seeing that, and I was like, I need an answer. I not just for my clients, but I need an answer for my family so we can stop this. So it don't keep going from generation to
Right.
generation to generation. Like, wait a minute, because just because it runs in the family doesn't mean it has to be your story. Like, no, what are you doing differently? No, so you know this pattern, androgenetic alopecia running the family. But what can you do not to expedite it, speed it up along the way? It's some stuff. And I tell people what you do in your earlier years matter in your latter years.
Oh, yep. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Boy, and the thing about it is happening internal. We don't see it. We don't see
Hmm.
it
You don't
until
see
it
it.
gets exposed, like it did in your case, or
Yeah.
people who have gotten, diagnosed with a life threatening disease. And it didn't just happen just last week. There's been some
Yeah.
things going on for years and years and years, and we just don't know it.
Yeah, and I tell people, I notice my I call it the check engine light, which is my body light. It was coming on, it'll flicker there, it'll go off, then it'll come on and say, getting somebody come like your check engine light. Oh yeah, it's been on for months. So your body light is on for months, but you still ignoring it, right? And so that's what happened. I tell people the body grows the hair, and then the hair is the last thing. Like if say you're eating and whatever you're drinking and those nutrients, it's going to go to the vital organs that you need to survive. You don't need hair to survive. So the hair going to get what's left. So if you're not eating right, your sleep, your exercising, take your vitamins and supplements and stuff like that, you ain't worrying about no hair. And I tell people, I'm like, I'm going to get this product. At the end of the day, products enhance, but the body grows the hair. So what's on your fork? What's in your cup?
Oh
And I
my
had to
goodness.
tell myself, girl, I'm full of fast food and hair strands. Eating on the go. Still do so yeah, so I had to just all that. Yeah. And then you talking about years. So it's just like I say, it's nothing that just happened overnight. This is chronic stuff. So, I had to now this part I started journaling. Like, what was my stress level today? Because every day is not a team. And
Mm-hmm.
every day may not be a three. But
Mm-hmm.
what so I did do that to kind of see like and then say, well, why was if it's a 9 or a 10, why? And what can I do about it?
Mm. And
Do I need to
so,
hold on or let it go?
oh wow, there you go. No, with no explanation, and yes, with no explanation. Oh, I love it. Angela, this has been fascinating. Just fascinating. I've always been an inquisitive person, and so I like to know and research the same way that you started with the herring and digging and realize, wait a the generation, we're gonna stop this curse in our
Hmm.
family, doggone it. We're gonna stop it.
Right.
But we better figure out, where the source is and how to fix it. So now are you do you do classes teaching people, or when they come and see you, are you specifically dealing with the hair loss and scalp? Are you doing hair as a master cosmetologist, or is your season dealing with the scalp and hair loss?
So as of now, and I tell my client, they be like, I know it won't be long. And I say, right now, y'all are marked safe. So he hadn't told me to step away from the chair, from behind the chair, but he did tell me to stop accepting shampoo type clients. So if somebody, I need, and I say no. So it is strictly like the only clients I'm accepting right now are those dealing with any type of hair loss or scalp maladies. That's it. So nobody just with I just need a cut color. No, I can't. And sometimes people like, because they'll say, "Oh, it's just this one time," and it really don't, because they kind of ease. If I just put my name on the book for eyebrow arch, and then you get in there, "Oh, I want to relax," and no, that's not what you're booked for, right? And so
Right.
I don't want to be like that, and I want to be obedient. And then I say I have to make room, and this is my latter part of my career, right? And that is to help those. And when you talk about, and he told me you'll be educated, you will be teaching, and I tell people, and getting back to the basics, because even at that expo that you mentioned, and with sharing information, and when I say basic information, that even as a licensed stylist should be sharing with their clients, it's like, oh, I didn't know that. And so it's not just educating, clients, but even helping my my counterparts that's in this industry, like, hey, come on now, we're professionals, and that's what we're here to do. We're here to serve the people, and we're here to protect the hair strand. That's what we're here to do, not tear it up, mess it up. And so that's the latter part of my career, is what I'll be doing, is helping those. And I'm excited. I do have some things in the making, like starting these mommy and me classes, and not just mom and daughter, because mom has sons that now, because a lot of kids now not getting haircuts or whatever. So it's a proper, even way of just taking care of the hair, and people think, oh, dirty hair grow. No, that is mistake. You need to be shampooing it. Just stuff like that. Getting that away, like no, and then it's like if you want something to come out that follicle, if it's clogged up, I mean, if this hair strand and it want to come through, but you got this stuff on top. If I'm this follicle and that want to come up through, how am I come up? If it's covered with buildup, debris, whatever, and so I'm having to educate, and I'm excited because I don't want our people falling by the wayside.
Yeah.
And I tell people when it comes to this hair, and with my fellow counterparts, because it's like we do hair. So if there's no hair to do, how you gonna stay in business? Everybody don't want to wear a wig. Everybody don't want to wear extensions. So you got to be able to keep this hair on the client's head. And
Right.
when you don't know, that's another thing. I tell people about networking. When you don't know, as a trichologist, we don't want long-term clients. That's not our goal. Our goal is to help them and get them back to their client, and working with your style. I mean, not client, but working with your stylist,
Mm.
um, to help you retain your client in the chair. But if they have no hair, you won't have a client. And I have to tell stylists that all the time. We don't want your client as a trichologist. We don't. We want to help them so it don't spread. I have clients come in. It was notice a spot. It started out as the size of a nickel, or started out as the size of a quarter. Now you at the size of a grapefruit.
Ooh.
Yeah. And not only that, I think the saddest part for me being in this my being a trichologist is having to tell the parent with a young child like this permanent damage. Permanent. And this is due to mechanical. Now we talking about mechanical, depending on what type of styles and stuff, products being used and stuff like that. So
Mm.
it's like no, let's protect their scalp and hair strands at all costs. Let them tear it up when they get of age. Sort of like we do credit, right? We protect their credit,
Right.
protect them hair strands.
Right.
Let them mess it up when they get of age, but we don't do it when they're
Yeah.
minors. We got to stop being lazy.
Mm.
That's what it is. We got to
Yep.
stop being lazy. We got to do our part.
Angela, I tell you what, finding me, when I think about the name of your book, there's so many almost like peeling an onion. There's so many layers there that you have shared and unlayered for us on this episode. And actually we could go on and have a part two, because specifically dealing with the health and wellness and the hair. And I mean, there were some things that you said that I never even made that connection about hair. But I have to admit, with the breast cancer and losing the hair, there were some things that I did learn about how, in the hair, it did grow back, but then how the hair on all different parts of your body, it goes too, you're not really just thinking. And so you're right. It does come out of our body. So if our body is not being fed right, well, then our hair is not being fed right. And
That's
that
right.
just makes so much sense. Finding me, where can let me do this. I always like to say this before I wrap up. Man, and I hate having to wrap up, but we do. With everything that we've already talked about, okay, the name of my podcast is Reset to Reinvent. It's about dealing with and providing guests on our show that's gone through some situations, and now they're on the other side, and they're providing guidance and inspiration and actionable strategies, and you've given so many. I mean, this has been a master class, this episode here, and some of those one-liner zingers that I know, man, those are going to be the ones that's going to get people's attention. But when you think about the title of my episode of my podcast, and with everything that you've gone through, in the name of your book, Finding Me, and how you have found yourself on so many levels, is there anything else that you would like to be able to share? And or how does Reset to Reinvent resonate with you, from where you are in this place and in this season in your life?
So I would say to for us reset and reinvent is for self. And so it's not worrying about what others would think. And it's like whatever you need to do to get your healing. And that's what I had to do. Like, I'm not thinking about nobody else. Let me get my healing. And sometimes, we hold on to things because how's it gonna affect the family? And I'm like, I'm not worrying about that. This is for me. And I had to say, um, to the point where even though I'm helping me, and it has helped others. Like I say, the feed, like I've never told anyone. Like the stories I've been getting, even that night at the end, now I'm going around giving hugs. It was at least 10 different whispers that was in my ear. I can relate. If not to some of it, all of it. And since then, just sharing, like I've had, and one, like a male friend called the other day and he's like, I read the book and I just want to say thank you. So it's not just like helping women, but even males in this. And I know the Lord, He told me with this getting back to the foundation, the basic foundation, and it's gonna be with our male. They're needed, they're wanted, and they're loved. And I say all this, I was like, well, Lord, if you're gonna use me and to reset and reinvent so others can live. And I tell people, we don't know the quantity of life, but we have a hand in our quality. And so we don't know what it, but I say every day, I want quality this day. I want quality this day. And so whatever that look like, and if that's like releasing people, releasing places that you no longer can go to, whatever it takes to get the healing that you need, because it's huge. It is huge, and it takes something off. And not only that, that night, um, at the end when I brought my family up,
Mhm.
hmm, and my daughter spoke. And I didn't know. Denny had no idea. She had been holding on some things. So where I'm holding on, I've held on for 39 years. She maybe with that, it was maybe about 3 or 4 years. So you don't have to go those long years like your mom did, putting stress on your body and stuff. Because that's what it putting stress, breaking down that nervous system, you
Yeah.
know, having that circulation really not flowing right. And I tell people, and I said it that night, you're on these different medications. Some stuff is not about a physical illness, it's mental as well. That takes a toll on the body. So if we just sit, you know what? I need to reset some things
Yeah.
for this reinvention of the new me. And that's what we need to do. Just taking the time to and sit still. The
Yeah.
world so just no. Turn that TV off. Turn that cell phone off, and yes, and sit with self. And then you will kind of know. And that's why I say around this time I kind of know like I'm in tune with my body. Like, hold on, something not right. So now had I not taken this course and now being aware, I don't know if I would even be here today to say that, you know, because we have to do our part too. So
Angela, I just want to thank you again so much for being a guest with us and having this conversation. Tell us again the name of your book. Where can people find the book, and give us your social media handles?
Okay, so it is called Finding Me, and you can find it. It's on Amazon. Um, if you want to in person, you can stop by 23 Salon 419 at 2368 Barton Chapel Road. That's in Augusta, Georgia. I will also have a book launch on April 18th from 3 to 5 p.m. At 535 Telfair Street. That's the Augusta Municipal Building. You can go to angelatheauthor.com to have a copy, because we don't just need it in Augusta, Georgia. We need this book worldwide, because it would definitely help others, to have a voice to finally be like, you know what, this is just what I needed to start my journey. And in a journey, it don't have to be a big leap. It's one step at a time. That's all it takes. One step at a time.
One
Yep.
step at a time, finding me. Thank you
Step
again,
at a time.
Angela. You have just been a blessing to us, and I'm so glad that you got a chance to join us here today. You just continue to be blessed, and of course, I'm going to be seeing you soon. And I tell you what, Reset to Reinvent family. I know you guys were blown away, just like I was, with this conversation. I hope that you've learned some things, and definitely I hope you've learned some things about your body and how it relates to your hair and your hair follicles in a way that I have. So my head is spinning, but you guys have been amazing. I hope you have yourself a wonderful week. Why? Because you deserve to be inspired. Ladies, are you a woman in the middle of an unwanted reinvention? Maybe you have experienced a significant disruption, the death of someone central to your identity, a sudden career loss, a divorce, a health crisis, or a role like motherhood or caregiving that has ended or shifted. You're not in an acute crisis, but you feel stuck. Functional on the outside, but hollow on the inside. We really need to talk. Click on the coaching link found in my footer or my bio. I look forward to chatting with you soon.